Hey, it's Ty Crandall. So one question I'm asked a lot nowadays is about numbers called CPN numbers. Now, CPN numbers are credit privacy numbers, or go by several other names. So in this short video, I'm going to walk through and teach you exactly what you should know about credit privacy numbers. The first thing I'm going to tell you about them is that yes, they do exist, and yes, you can legally have a CPN number. As a matter of fact, just like you're entitled to have a social security number, one social security number per individual, an individual can also have a CPN number. But you've got to be aware, just because it's legal to have a CPN number does not mean that it's legal to use it in some of the circumstances you might think that it is. So let's dive in and talk a little bit more about that. First of all, what a CPN number is it literally is designed for privacy. That is the P in CPN. So a credit privacy number is specifically designed for people that require an extra layer of privacy and that don't want to supply their social security number. Some simple examples of this are people that are famous people, movie stars for example, people in Congress, especially people in the witness protection program. Obviously somebody in the witness protection program cannot be using their real social security number when they're out there trying to apply for anything. So as a result of that, the government has something called credit privacy numbers to give these people the extra layer of privacy that's needed so they don't need to provide their social security number. Now, let me say this, there's only certain instances that by law you even have to supply your social security number. When you're applying for a firearm, for example, when you're applying for a government loan, okay, when you're applying for something with the motor vehicles. These are some of only a few requirements where by law you actually have to supply your social. You are not required to actually supply your social security number when you go to apply for a loan. So if you go to apply for a loan, you are asked for your social, but you don't have to supply it. Of course, if you didn't supply the social security number, you just wouldn't get approved. So even though you're not required by law to put the social security number on the application, if you don't put it on there, you're not going to get approved. And I tell you this because this is the basis that some people use. They say, hey, these numbers are legal. Yeah, they absolutely are. They say, hey, you're not required by law to put your social on an application. They're right there too. You're not. But here's where the problem comes in. The problem comes in that what is not legal, what is completely and highly illegal, is that when you're asked for your social security number on an application, you cannot, by law, put anything else in the place of that social security number. So a lot of people sell these numbers. Beware. Because what happens is they sell you based on the premise that you can use this number in lieu of this number. That is not correct. As a matter of fact, that's against the law. It's a felony to use anything other than your social security number in the social security number field on an application. You can't do it. It's against the law. As a matter of fact, it breaks 2 federal laws that are felonies. So you're committing multiple felonies if you think you're going to use a CPN number or anybody else's social or any other number you've even made up in lieu of a social security number on an application. Can you leave the social blank? Sure you can. As a matter of fact, when you apply for business credit, we promote leaving the social security number blank, forcing them to pull your EIN credit. But again, what you cannot do by law is put anything else in lieu of the social security number on the social security number field of any application or anywhere else. You cannot use any number other than your legitimate social on any field that asks for your social security number. Here's the other problem with CPNs. When people try to sell you established CPNs, there's no such thing. This CPN is your number. It's like somebody trying to sell you an established social security number. So where do these established CPNs now come from? Well, there's a problem. They come from typically 2 places. Either children or people that are deceased. That's right. When somebody sells you a CPN number that's established, they're selling you a CPN or even a social that's linked to somebody else. So beyond the 2 felonies you have of putting something else on the credit report other than your social, you very well could be committing identity theft because more than likely you're using somebody else's CPN or somebody else's social instead. You need to stay away from CPN numbers. Don't get me wrong. If you're a member of Congress, if you're in witness protection, there are circumstances where you need the privacy that a CPN number was designed to actually provide. But what you cannot do by law is provide a CPN number in lieu of your social. You cannot be sold on the idea that you can absolutely magically go and buy one of these and that people are going to ignore the credit issues that you have on your social. It's not true. It's not legitimate. If you do so, you're committing multiple felonies because you're providing another number in lieu of your social, and more than likely the CPN or social you're providing isn't yours to begin with, and that brings you into even more trouble committing identity theft. So avoid CPN numbers. There's a right way to do things, and I want to tell you right now real quick what the right thing to do is. First of all, build your business credit. Your business can have a credit report that's linked to its EIN. And when you build business credit, your social doesn't even need to be provided on the application. So no matter how bad your personal credit is, you can still obtain business credit for your company when you do it the right way. The other way is think about having somebody help you, a professional, fix your personal credit. Yes, credit repair is legitimate and it is legal. There's a law out there called the Fair Credit Reporting Act. And the Fair Credit Reporting Act, that doesn't look like an A, but we'll go with that. The Fair Credit Reporting Act is a law that stipulates how the credit bureaus and the creditors handle your information. And it specifically requires that the information on your credit report be 100% accurate, 100% verifiable, and 100% timely. Well, here's the problem. Most of the negative stuff on your credit report has been kind of manipulated by your creditors to a point where it's not 100% accurate, verifiable, or timely. So if it's questioned, then you're typically going to see a lot of those items get deleted because they don't meet the requirements of the Fair Credit Reporting Act. So you can legitimately fix your credit. Whether you do it on your own, whether you work with a legitimate company that does it, it absolutely can be done because the law requires that your credit report meet certain standards and that the items on your credit report meet certain standards before they're reported. If they don't meet the standards, then the FCRA says they have to get deleted. They have to be removed from the credit report. So don't even think about getting a CPN number. These are very, very bad, okay? You can break a lot of laws and get into a lot of trouble using a CPN in lieu of your Social Security number. If you're having problems with your personal credit, consider doing two things. Building your business credit where your social doesn't need to be provided, and also use the Fair Credit Reporting Act and the obligations that the creditors and the credit bureaus have by law to make sure your information is accurate, to check all of the items on your credit report, to get the things that aren't accurate, timely, and verifiable deleted. You can even work with companies out there that are legitimate, that have good reputations, that can help you do so. So again, this is Ty Crandall. I hope you enjoyed this video on CPN numbers, what to look for and what to avoid.